What if your life could shift, not slowly, not someday, but starting today? What if transformation didn't depend on motivation, luck, or waiting for the right moment? The Stoics believed that change begins the instant you think clearly. That life bends the moment you align with reality, not fantasy. They didn't chase hacks or hype. They didn't wait for miracles. They practiced principles, timeless, unbreakable, deeply human. These are 12 Stoic principles that, if understood and lived, begin to transform your life immediately. Not by changing the world, but by changing how you stand in it. The first principle: control what you can. Let go of the rest. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us, some are not." Every minute you spend worrying about things outside your control, other people, the past, the economy, is a minute stolen from your strength. The Stoic draws a line in the sand. This I control, my actions, my thoughts, my choices. That I release, the chaos, the noise, the opinions. The moment you internalize this, peace replaces panic. You stop fighting storms and start steering your ship. The second principle: use obstacles as fuel. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." To the Stoic, resistance is not the enemy, it's the teacher. The job that rejected you, the delay, the loss, all of it is material. All of it can be used. When you stop expecting ease and start expecting resistance, everything becomes useful. Even pain. Especially pain. That shift doesn't take months, it happens in a moment. When you decide, this too will serve me. Third, practice voluntary discomfort. Seneca bathed in cold water, slept on hard surfaces, wore simple clothes even though he was wealthy. To train his mind, to remind himself, I don't need luxury to be strong. Comfort softens, but chosen discomfort sharpens. Each time you step into a cold shower, fast, or walk instead of drive, you tell your brain, I am not a slave to ease. The transformation begins the moment you stop avoiding discomfort and start embracing it. That's where freedom lives. Fourth, memento mori, remember death. No one escapes it. And yet, most live as if they'll go on forever. The Stoics reminded themselves daily, I could die today. Not to feel fear, but urgency. To realize, life is not a rehearsal. There are no replays. If you understood that this was your last sunrise, would you still scroll? Would you still hold that grudge? Would you still play small? The moment you let mortality in, your priorities shift. The trivial fades. What matters shines. Fifth, amor fati, love your fate. Not tolerate it. Not endure it. Love it. The Stoic doesn't wish life was different. He works with what is. Whether it's joy or hardship, success or setback, he meets it with, yes, this too is mine. Imagine what would happen if, instead of complaining, you welcome challenge. If you met pain with curiosity. Amor fati is not passive. It's fierce. It's the choice to dance with reality even when it stings. And it starts not in years, but in one moment of acceptance. Sixth, be indifferent to what doesn't matter. Fame, opinions, gossip, trends. The Stoics called these externals and gave them no weight. Because the more you chase applause, the more you forget your path. Life transforms the moment you stop needing to impress anyone. When you walk into a room and no longer wonder what they think, because you know who you are. That's not ego. That's freedom. And it begins when you finally ask, does this matter or does it distract? Seventh, live by values, not moods. Most people drift. They feel good, so they act good. They feel tired, so they quit. But the Stoic acts from principle, not emotion. He says, I do what's right even if I don't feel like it. And in doing so, he becomes strong. Every time you show up when it's hard, you build character, discipline, integrity. Your feelings don't define you, your actions do. And once you choose that, your identity shifts instantly. You become someone you can trust. Eighth, don't argue with reality. The Stoic doesn't say, this shouldn't be happening. He says, it is happening, so what will I do? Complaining is resistance to truth. Acceptance is power. You waste energy wishing the world was different. The Stoic uses that energy to respond, to adapt, to act. There is peace in facing what is. And transformation begins the moment you drop, why me, and pick up, what now? Ninth, practice presence. Not in theory, in breath, in body, in this moment. Marcus Aurelius said, confine yourself to the present. Because the past is over. The future isn't promised. The only place you can live, choose, change, is now. So bring yourself back. Out of loops. Out of noise. Into your breath. Into your steps. Into this conversation. This choice. This moment. Life doesn't happen later. It happens here. And the Stoic lives wide awake. 10th, know thyself. The Stoic turns inward, not to escape, but to understand. Why do I react this way? What am I afraid of? What story am I believing? Self-knowledge is liberation. When you see your patterns, you can break them. When you name your fear, you shrink it. When you own your flaws, no one can use them against you. The transformation begins the moment you stop lying to yourself. The moment you say, this is where I am, and I am willing to grow. 11th, keep your word. Integrity is invisible, but it's felt. When you do what you say, especially when no one is watching, you become trustworthy. Not just to others, but to yourself. Each time you follow through, you prove, I can rely on me. That builds confidence. Quiet power. You don't need to broadcast your promises. Just keep them. Let your actions speak. The Stoic doesn't shout, he embodies. That shift doesn't take time. It takes a decision. 12th, serve something greater than yourself. The Stoic life is not selfish. It's rooted in contribution, in lifting others, in being useful. Seneca said, wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. You don't need status to serve. You don't need permission to give. Every morning ask, who can I help? Every evening ask, did I live only for me, or for something more? The ego shrinks. Purpose expands. And the transformation begins, not when you get, but when you give. These are not theories. These are not slogans. They are living principles. And the Stoic doesn't wait to start. He reads. He reflects. And then he acts. Your life begins to change the moment you do. Not when the world is perfect. Not when you feel ready. But when you decide, I will live by truth, not comfort. I will live with virtue, not vanity. I will face life, not fear it. That is the Stoic way. And that is where real transformation begins. Now,